Quincy, you mentioned a minute ago Jameis Winston, so I just have to shove this transition in here, which is how did we feel about the end of the Saints Falcons game?
Hey,
What do you think?
hey, can we talk about this? Can we talk about this? Look, hey, listen, bro. Jameis ain't do shit wrong. I don't care what nobody say. Jameis ain't do
Nah,
nothing wrong. Jameis ain't do nothing wrong, dog. He ain't do nothing wrong.
Jameis didn't do anything you shouldn't expect Jameis to do. Now, did Jameis do anything wrong? I don't know. It's hard for me to look at this in a right and wrong lens. I just look at this as like, hey, dog, why y'all act like y'all don't know who the fuck Jameis Winston is at this point? Like, we out here getting seriously mad at Jameis Winston when Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston. His Twitter name is JBooWins5. Okay, he has been on camera eating W's. Let's not even mention what almost cost him the #1 overall pick, which is a video of him saying something outrageously vulgar in the student recreation lounge. This is a dude who got caught stealing drinks from Burger King. You know how goofy of an individual you gotta be to get
Hey,
caught
man.
stealing drinks from the soda fountain?
Hey,
Huh?
man. Hey, you ain't even bring up the craziest thing he did. Hey, remember he was on crutches dancing in the video.
He tore his ACL like hours before, and he in the locker room dancing. Like, come on,
Hey,
man.
look, I say all of this to say, Jameis Winston is an ultimate vibes guy.
Hey.
Which is to say that if there is a vibe in the room, Jameis ain't about to kill it being responsible. Okay,
Hey,
we know this.
talked
In
about-
the
we talked
vibe,
about good hands. We talked about good hangs. Jameis is a great hang.
all-time hang.
Great hang.
All-time
All-time.
hang. They will try to
All
run
time.
him out the league, but nah, somebody, watch Jameis Winston end up in Cleveland next year.
Oh,
right?
I hope
Watch
he in
him.
Cleveland.
Watch
I
it. Because
hope he-
Deshaun
that-
Watson's like, hey, bruh.
That would be the funniest quarterback room of all time.
Hey,
Just
they
the
gonna ask him questions
funniest.
about Deshaun, and James like, hey, don't ask me nothing about that.
No, what Jameis is gonna do is say something that he probably should not say, but he doesn't.
Hey.
He doesn't mean. He means well. He means well. He just country.
He gonna try to make a point about individual change, but in the
He
most
just-
sloppy and egregious way
He just means
possible.
well.
We're like,
He
oh
just
god,
means well,
we
but
gonna have to come on this pod and talk about it too, and this is gonna be the worst
Hey,
decision we ever made.
Look, a Tiger can change it. He gonna be in there like, what do you think about Deshaun Watson and all this stuff? Hey, Tigers change their stripes. He went to Clemson. That seemed like a tiger to me. Like, what?
I'm
is you
like,
talking
I'm like,
You know
Jameis,
what?
no, Jameis,
You know
no,
what?
no.
I can't even like. That is something that Jameis would say.
Yes.
That is 100% in
Yes.
the Jameis playbook.
Yeah.
I
Look,
100% believe that he has said that.
It- here's the thing. People act like we don't know who Jameis is, man. Jameis saw the vibe. The vibes were high. We whipping their ass. It's the Falcons. Hey, my homeboy need a touchdown to get this incentive. And a coach call in a victory formation play at the 1 yard line and tells him, don't do nothing, Jameis. And Jameis was like, but the vibe going this way. And look, Jameis is the dude that's going to jump into the pool because everybody wants Jameis to jump into the pool. Jameis is the dude that's going to do the wild thing because that's what the party demands Jameis does. He is a victim of that. And Jameis saw the vibe and was like, hey, I'm going to hand you this ball, dog. And look, shame on everybody else on the Saints because we can't trust Jameis to do things that Jameis wouldn't do. Everybody else knew Jameis was like that. Everybody else in that huddle knew Jameis was like that. And they knew. They wasn't talking Derek Carr that handed that ball off. But you know who they could? You know they could talk that into? Jameis. Hey, Jameis, they ain't listened to you all year, but you about to listen to them on this? No, you ain't about to do this for the boys. And Jameis like, yeah, fuck all that. We about to do this for the boys. Take this shit. And then he handed that ball off, and then he went and stood 10 toes down on in a post-game presser, simply
That was the
on the
funniest
justification of, hey, this what the homies wanted. That's what he said in the presser. He's like, hey, I don't care what you think. The homies wanted this. That was the vibe. And are you one of the homies? No? Then I don't care. That's what we was doing right there. And if they wanted to do something about it, they should have let us get 41 points, which is just him talking shit at that point. Like,
So the funniest thing to me is Jameis is that kid who, when your mom would say, if all your friends jumping off a bridge, you gonna jump too? Jameis like, yeah, I'm gonna jump too.
It sounds like it's
Just
fun.
boys. Yeah, but
Might be
the
some water
funny-
down there. You don't know.
Of course. Like, if you're Dennis Allen, how do you come back next year? Nobody on that team listens to you. Nobody
Look,
wants
it's not that nobody listens to you if you're Dennis Allen. It's that people will listen to Jameis more than you.
That's the thing. Everybody listen to Jameis instead of you. How can you come back? How are you coming back as a head coach?
Hey,
you let Jameis like out-talk you.
Hey,
Jimmy Graham
Dennis Allen needs to be
went on
more of a
IG.
vibes guy.
Jimmy Graham went immediately on IG. He was like, Jameis Winston is the greatest leader I've ever been around.
Yes!
He's beloved in our locker room. And I'll do anything. It's like, I would do anything for Jameis Winston. But also, fuck the Falcons. Who cares?
Again, that's the biggest part of this. If this was a game against like the Packers, Jameis doesn't do this. But it's the Falcons. This is one of the like true rivalries in the NFL where the players do not like each other. They don't like each other on that team, regardless of the situation. Yeah, I'm gonna try and run up the score. It doesn't matter. Like, they gotta think about it for the next 365 days.
Hey, Q,
Can we
real,
talk
Q,
about the
be
post?
real for a second, Q. Be real for a second. And you know, we Browns fans, and the majority of people who watch us are Browns fans. Hopefully, we get some Jags fans watch us too. But look, be honest. If Jameis was on the Cleveland Browns and he did exactly what he did to the Pittsburgh Steelers, tell me he wouldn't be the most beloved athlete in Cleveland Browns history if he did that to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the end of the game. Tell me we wouldn't love him.
Oh, he'd be the most loved man since Peyton Hillis. And I like straight up. And like, we would be out here like, I'm not gonna lie, if he did that versus the Steelers, I'd be copping them, please. Like, hey man, y'all wasn't this bad when Antonio Brown kicked us in the face? Now what y'all? Remember when he backflipped up 30 points for no reason into the end zone on Ibrahim Campbell? Like, nah. But y'all, man, we scored this extra touch. I'd have been sounding just like Jameis. Okay. Mm-hmm. They should have did something about the other 40 points. They mad about this one. And then people, the thing that got me was this press reporter. Like, I hate sports reporters like this who are like, they live in their fears so much that they don't realize that when they say this stuff to athletes, they just sound like they on the most whole shit that you've ever heard in your life. He's like, well, Jameis, aren't you afraid? Because you have to play those guys next year. Like the Falcons wasn't going to be motivated to play the Falcons next year. Like, what? You think they about to be like, oh, we wasn't about to play y'all hard, but now we about to go hard. And it's the fucking Falcons, y'all. Have some backbone. I'm sorry.
The thing about this is Jameis is a free agent. He might not have to play the Falcons next year.
He might be on the Falcons next year.
Go out with a bang. You know what? Cool. I might not see y'all again. I'm going to rub it in your face.
Hey.
I'm going to absolutely make it so you have to think about this next year while I'm chilling somewhere else.
And here's also what Jameis was thinking. This is the last time I'll be with this group of homies. I gotta go out on a dove. I can't go out dealing that thing on the one. No, remember the first thing. I don't know if y'all know this. Do you guys remember the first thing Jameis Winston ever went viral for before he was even starting?
Was it the speech? Not the clip.
It was a viral clip of him reacting to EJ Manuel getting drafted. It was him running around his dorm hall, being like, yeah, y'all was sleeping on my EJ Manuel. Like, just, this is who Jameis is, dog. He's always been like
the greatest teammate of all time.
Greatest teammate
of all time.
Look, nobody who shares a locker room with Jameis ever got anything to say about Jameis. Everybody who writes articles about Jameis, oh, they got some problems with Jameis. But them dudes in that locker room, they will die for Jameis. All right? Like, you know how good of a locker room dude you got to be to throw 30 interceptions and have the opportunity to hit 5,000 yards? Like, nobody's like, hey, dog, we got to do something at quarterback after the 20th interception. They like, hey, let Jameis cook, man. Y'all worry about them interceptions too much, man. Like,
it is what it is.
He didn't lose a single person on that defense. He threw 30 turnovers. And I'm pretty sure he fumbled like 6 times.
There's an argument to be made that Jameis is the most exciting player in the NFL because you never know what's going to happen. And he's a backup. You never know what you're going to see from Jameis. He might get in the game and throw a 50-yard touchdown. He might throw it to the other team. He might have the greatest inspirational speech of all time. There might be times where he's like saying something to Alvin Kamara on the sidelines, and Alvin Kamara is just not fucking with it at all. Like he's just like, yeah, man, get out of my face. Please get out of my face. We are losing.
But here's the thing. Here's how much Alvin Kamara likes him. He is not messing with any of that stuff that Jameis is saying in that moment. We like,
Derek Carr say
all
something
right,
like that.
dog. Like he gonna dap him up at the end of it and laugh like this dude, man. This
Come
dude is
on,
hilarious.
Come on,
Let Derek Carr say something like that. We've already seen it.
Yeah, look, Derek Carr come up into his face talking about what he need to do. He gonna stand up on that. Like, hey, what you? Jameis come by like, hey, dog, I love you.
Them dudes don't like Derek Carr. He always yelling at them. There were like 3 separate instances this year of Derek Carr and teammates getting into arguments, and Derek Carr lost all of those arguments.
JP, here's the thing that's crazy. Because before Derek Carr shared the locker room with Jameis, Derek Carr was the teammate of teammates, right? Like he was the I love this dude all-star. I saw a video where Amari Cooper of all people, and I don't know how much you know about Amari Cooper. He was like, he was in this podcast going hard for Blake Sims, right? Going hard for Jacoby Brissett. He was going hard for all these dudes, and they asked him who was his favorite quarterback to play for. Unquestionably, Derek Carr. A man who had a season with him in which he had 400 yards. He was like, yeah, I'm rocking with that dude. That's how much people like Derek Carr. And they like Jameis so much that they turned Derek Carr into the villain. Like, that's how much Jameis Winston is beloved.
It's not just they. He did some of that on his own.
Yeah. Like they was like, I'm tired of Derek Carr trying to smooth things over with dinners and gifts. You know what Jameis do? Hey, bro, you know it's a cookout. Like Jameis understands the locker room more than anybody else. And look, if the league gets so mad at Jameis for this that they kick him out, that is a blessing in disguise, because let me tell you something. Jameis Winston playing spring football with a microphone on 24/7. Oh, I'm watching every second.
I'm not going there. I'm going. Jameis Winston would be the greatest high school coach of all time.
Oh,
just for the funniest things. He'd be the greatest high school football coach of all time.
Jameis Winston is gonna be somebody's coach one day, and we're gonna have to explain to the children why. That is 1, the most predictable, and 2, the most unpredictable thing to happen of all time. Like, we're going to be like, hey, dog. Jameis Winston
you had to be there to understand. You had to be there to understand. Like,
I have to imagine this is what people 20 years our elder feel about Jim Harbaugh being a head coach somewhere. They're like, what?
Oh my God, that's such a good comparison.
Like, yeah,
Jameis and Jim Harbaugh are the same person.
Yeah, it's like, what if Jim Harbaugh went to Hueytown, Alabama?
And Jim Harbaugh was country. And instead of Midwestern country, Southern country.
Nah, he's like, yeah. Same guys. Like, they'll both tell you can't eat chickens because, you know, they are not alpha animals or whatever.
They're a scared bird.
Yeah, they're a scared bird.
And he's gonna be like, all right, man, cool. I'll see you later. That Jameis is a dude in the barbershop who says conspiracy theories, but nobody checks him on it because, like, hey, okay, dude, word. Like, I got you.
Jameis Winston is the dude in the barbershop that comes in there and tells you he played all city, and everybody knows for a fact did not play all city.
But they just let him go.
Except for he did in 2 sports. Like, Jameis Winston, we forget this, was a 2-sport draft pick guy. He went number 1 in the NFL draft. And I believe he went like in the first 5 rounds of the baseball draft.
He was really good at baseball.
Yeah.
But
this is the look, man. I feel like people be so serious about Jameis when the book's been out for decades. Like, let's just enjoy this man for what he is, which is a hilariously entertaining individual. I can't wait till he starts coaching college football, because nobody has college football head coach written all over them more than Jameis Winston does. Like, that's gonna be one of the I will root for that team.
He's gonna be coaching high school football somewhere in Foley, Alabama, and just lead them to like 4 state titles.
I need that.
The funniest, he is a content machine, and for that,
last thing we're gonna head out on before we switch topics. buddy cop pairings, right? We talked about Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston. Me and Cole have a running joke about Caleb Williams and Jameis Winston. Like, that's the perfect buddy cop movie, in my opinion.
It's perfect.
But
It's
yes,
so perfect.
Oh, yeah. Because he'll be out there being all arrogant, and James be like, okay, you think it can't happen? Look at me. Watch out now. Like, Caleb was like, what?
Hey, no, we need them. We need them to be on the same roster because there's gonna be a thing about Caleb Williams painting his nails or something. A story like that's gonna come out when he's in the NFL, and Jameis defending him is going to either be the greatest or the funniest thing we have ever seen.
You're gonna be like, nails. You know what else they had for nails? They nailed Jesus' hands to the cross. And it's gonna be the most southern shit ever. And I'm gonna do nothing but laugh.
I ain't got no problem with the man embracing his team colors. Like, what y'all got a problem with right there?
Yeah, you gonna paint his nails?
hey. Long as he throw them touchdowns, you ain't gonna care what's on them fingernails now.
You know, is he Brumman from Martin?
He might be Brumman from Martin. He might be Brumman.
He just be chilling, like that.
Look,
that's Caleb Williams and Jameis. What are you doing here, man?
Jameis Winston is the only backup quarterback where the starter got to pay deference. Like, he got to check in with Jameis Winston because, look, you lose Jameis, you lose the team, buddy. And I think that's what happened to him. That's what happened to Derek Carr in New Orleans. He lost Jameis. Which is shocking because, man, I haven't seen two people have more in common than Jameis Winston and Derek Carr, but I guess it's one of them, we play the same songs but different tunes. Like, it must have been one of those things because Buddy wasn't rocking with him. Like, it just was what it was. But look, you gotta if Deshaun Watson has Jameis Winston as the backup quarterback, Deshaun Watson gonna have to check in, dog. He gonna be like, hey, dog, we good? Because if you lose Jameis, hey, Greg Newsom gonna be out there like, hey, we just need to have a clean game at quarterback. Like, you remember when Baker Mayfield was here and we would get all these like sneak disses for the defense? Like, hey man, if we just run that ball, like if we put the game in Nick Chubb's hands,
we'll win the game. Just don't let them throw.
Ain't nothing more hilarious than the politics of a locker room when they become public, because you just start seeing these vague signs of people obviously not fucking with each other, but you can't call it out because people will get mad. But it's like, hey dog, John Johnson just said run the ball on Twitter, and Baker Mayfield is playing in this game.
You know what I think is the funniest buddy cop movie, or in the same song, different tunes? They're both gonna be free agents. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston in the same quarterback room.
Cannot happen.
So
Riggs and Bertall.
Funny.
Cannot happen. Cannot happen.
No, I need that. I need that. I need in-season Hard Knocks to be there.
They are both so chaotic, but in completely different ways, that I just think their mind meld would be hilarious.
Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson could talk to each other for 2 hours and not understand a single thing that either one said, but still continue the conversation.
Imagine having the least likable and most likable quarterback in the same locker room at the same time.
I will offer this counterpoint though, Cole. That might be the fix for Russell. Is to make him Jameis Winston's homeboy. Because all of a sudden, hey, I fuck with Jameis, so I guess I gotta be cool with Russ.
Hey, you know what? If Russ was doing high knees on the plane, Jameis gonna get up and do them with him.
You know what? JP, we just landed on something. If you have an unlikable starter, get Jameis Winston. That'll fix it.
Instant PR boost.
Oh yeah. Hey, Buccaneers, go ahead and get Jameis, right? Because once Baker get off this, like, oh yeah, I'm being humble, and he start feeling himself and calling him the Danger Six again, okay, you gonna need Jameis to make sure that, hey, that's my homeboy, so people don't get sick of his shit. Hey, who else got a real unlikable quarterback? If Carson Wentz had Jameis Winston, he'd still be on the Eagles. All right.
It's so funny how we're like PR master Jameis Winston. Like, just imagine that we're saying that in 2023. Tell a Florida State fan back in 2014 that Jameis Winston would be the PR master, or like the positive person or the positive PR guy. I don't know how I'd do it.
I don't know if he's positive public relations. The public might feel away, but he's definitely positive LR locker room relations. Like, look, you got it started people ain't fucking with. Hey, dog, throw Jameis behind him and make sure they know the program. You got to be his homeboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are Jameis's homeboy, they going to put up with a little bit more, right? But if you're not Jameis's homeboy, it's going to go all crash it down. Like,
exactly. Again, another funny one. Dak and Jameis in the same QB room.
Ooh.
So funny.
Ooh.
So funny. Jameis would piss off Dak so much. It just get to the point where
Dak seems like a very serious guy.
Yeah,
like,
Dak's not. Strikes me as a man who don't joke around a lot. Don't like people who joke around a lot.
And Jameis strikes me as somebody who plays rock, paper, scissors in between sets. Like
they're gonna be in there studying film. Jameis gonna say something stupid and Dak should get out. Just get out. I can't do this.
You know what Jameis is? You know what, like, out of you ever had to do like film review for like basketball, right? And there's somebody always in the room who's willing to like say, fuck it, shoot the J. Like in the middle of a film review, that's Jameis right there. Hey, throw that 9. Fuck what coach say. Like, in the middle of the film review. He will
coach
say
is
that
looking like
coach like
Dak
see, that's why your ass don't play.
Dak gonna be like, you know what? He got a point. Like everybody in the room is gonna be like, you know what?
Kirk Cousins and Jameis Winston would be the best buddy cop film because I think they will ultimately get along and be better off for it. Like Jameis would pick up a little bit of Kirk. Kirk could get a little bit of that risky from Jameis, and then that's how Kirk Cousins gets his first championship. Like that is I need Netflix to produce it.
Kirk and Jameis is so funny. Just imagine
Kirk with all the chains.
Kirk with the chains on, and Jameis is like, "Where you get them chains from, dog?"
He's like, I don't really like wearing. Hey, look, Kirk's gonna have the chains on, and Jameis is gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't really like being flashy like that." Like, you never see Jameis in a hoodie,
chains, man. I don't even like chains like that. They gonna.
Could you imagine Jameis in his Jameis in prime Cam Newton's locker room? Like, imagine those two kicking it.
Hey, Cam get Jameis to put the fits on, put the hats on?
No.
Hey, it would be nonstop arguing about what's a better place to live, Bessemer, Alabama, or Atlanta, Georgia, between the two of them, dog.
Cam gonna send something to Jameis in the Cam language. Jameis gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't know you spoke Italian." Or some shit like that. Cam's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?"
You know, he spun me that. He be like, "Yeah, you know, Cam sent me that text, but he said it that spooky shit, so I ain't really get to read it, dog."
I don't deal with that spooky shit.
They'll be asking him about an Instagram catching Cam have you like, "Well, I ain't got the app. I don't got the app to decipher that, so I just don't know what he said." I asked Cam, he said it was just something regular. I was like, "Okay, so that's what it was." Like, look, man. Jameis Winston is going to make a bunch of more. He's going to make so much more money out of playing football than he does playing it, dog.
He's going to be the greatest quarterback coach of all time.
Oh,
you know what he's going to be? You know what he's going to be?
He's
going to be the NFL's version of Charles Barkley. That's what he's going to be the NFL's
with
version
none
of
the accomplishments.
God, I need it. I need that. I need it.
You gonna see him on Inside the NFL talking about,
oh my
hey,
Lord.
dog.
Alabama's finest, Charles Barkley and Jameis Winston leading the coverage for premier networks would be the greatest thing that Alabama has given us.
Hey, who's going to be Jameis's Shaq? Who is going to be Jameis's Shaq?
Who's going to be Jameis's Shaq? That's interesting. Who is like a Shaq-like figure in the NFL right now?
Man.
You know what? They're both on the Saints. Cam Jordan.
Yeah, kind of.
Ooh.
Kind of.
Cam Jordan already does this TV thing. He's
no.
Probably more popular.
Okay. Max Crosby. Put him across from Max Crosby. It's gonna be a different type of show. Hey, I will watch. I will be there.
We gonna have a let a naysayer know kind of thing going on there. That feels like we're setting Max Crosby up.
Hey, that's gonna be the first ESP. That's gonna be the first NFL pregame show on BET Plus. Like that's gonna be
Pat McAfee is their Ernie Johnson. Is that what we're working on here?
They gonna have.
That's far too lawless.
No, not Pat McAfee.
You need an adult in the room.
No, that's
Somebody
the type
tell
of
me
show. That's the type of
JJ
show
Watt?
where they would
JJ Watt's the
hire.
Ernie Johnson?
They would hire
Watt,
somebody like me or you to like host the show and then call him Black McAfee. Like that's what they would do on that show.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Hey,
I do not like that.
hey,
I don't like that.
I don't know.
Hey,
Too much.
They would hire,
Too much.
What's the dude, the punter? What's the punter's name from? He used to be on the Raiders. Marquette.
Oh, I know who you talking about. Marquette King?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marquette King?
Hey, Marquette King would have a job on that show. And they would shamelessly be trying to do the Pat McAfee thing with him. Okay? Shamelessly.